next guest is here with a unique and easy-to-prepare dinner for your next party. Her name is Jeanne Theriault from I Love to Cook for You. Jeanne, welcome to Daytime.
Welcome, thank you.
And thank you for loving to cook for us. And you're going to be preparing something called a raclette dinner.
Yes.
Why is this something very fond to you?
Well, it's fun. It's easy and it's fun. So have you ever had dinner parties?
Yes, I have.
So imagine this. The day of your dinner party, you get up in a nice relaxed state. You go about your business. Maybe you go out in the afternoon for a nice cup of tea or a drink that you like and take a magazine, read a little bit, and relax. Right. Does that happen for you?
No, as soon as you said imagine you wake up and you're relaxed, I'm thinking not on the day of a dinner party.
No, then you continue, you run a couple of errands and oh, look at the time. Oh, I best go home and just freshen up for my guest. Because you know why you can do that? Because the raclette is the easiest dinner party you can ever have.
So tell me, what does raclette actually mean?
So raclette is actually three things. So raclette is the style of cooking, raclette is the grill itself, and raclette is a specific type of cheese that is Swiss cheese common to the Alpines.
Okay, I had never heard of raclette cheese before.
It's very good.
So tell us what we need to do in order to start preparing for this raclette meal. What do we need?
So what we need is your equipment. So in the equipment, this is a grill top. So you can grill on top as well. There's a heating element underneath it. So you're going to put food in your little pot and it's going to heat up and you're going to put cheese and it's going to melt into your cheese. We'll demonstrate that in a moment. But
originally I thought this was going to be sort of like, when I read up on it, I thought it would be like fondue, but this is completely different than fondue.
Completely different than fondue. There's no oil involved. It's healthier, it's cleaner, and if you have kids, it's actually safer, considerably safer.
Where do you pick up something like this, raclette?
You can pick it up at the Oshawa Center at Think Kitchen.
Oh, wow.
I saw them there over the holidays. So this is a ground beef dish that I'm putting in here. So you can do the typical raclette dinner as potatoes, boiled potatoes sliced, bread and cheese.
Okay.
Three things with some veggies that you put on top. You can then have some cold cut meats. But being a dinner party chef, I like to jazz it up.
So how did you make this beef base that you put in there?
So this beef base is very similar to what could be a shepherd's pie.
Okay.
So you're going to fry up some ground beef, some veggies, and then for here, I'm just going to put it under the grill with some cheese on it. This is the specific raclette cheese that they sell for raclettes. And this has a broiler underneath. So this, as we talk and just socialize as in your dinner party takes place, melts itself.
That's what's happening.
Yeah.
Oh, now I see it. I didn't know that there was a broiler under there.
And then we also need some veggies. So here we go. We're going to have some veggies on top. Get them sizzling away.
So what would you do at a dinner party? Would you have people select their own veggies and would they place them on top, or would you do this for them while everyone's sitting around the table?
Everyone gets a piece of real estate. So you have 8 pots underneath. So as you're sitting at your table, you can have 8 guests.
That's great.
Or if you only have 4, they get 2 each, and that's fun too.
Okay, so each person would put in some of this meat?
So each person, when I'm leading the dinner party, so I explain to them a little bit of the history of the raclette itself and certainly how to use the equipment. So everyone gets their tongs to be able to grab their meat or grab the veggies to put it on the top. Everyone gets what is a little slider, because after your food is ready, you're going to then push it off onto your plate.
Okay.
Because they're Teflon, you don't want to scratch them. And let's see what else we have here. You're going to have, everyone has, this is really just like a fondue plate.
Okay,
so they're
this
going
didn't
to
come necessarily with,
no.
So you buy these purchased separately, and I like that they have different
So you're going to, I'm going to pass the veggies around to all my guests. They're going to take some veggies and put it in their little pots. They're going to put some onions in there. Maybe they want to warm up some of the meat. And then we set that aside. So now they control what they're going to eat and how much they're going to eat.
That is so interesting.
You can ask them to come early and everyone participate in slicing of the veggies, because it certainly isn't hard. When you're buying the cheese, now the cheese for me has been a bit of a challenge. Raclette cheese is very specific, and most of the grocery stores, it's a hit and miss. Some days you find it and some days you don't. So, but I did find that when going to Country Cheese in Ajax, they have raclette cheese, and locally in Whitby at the Farm Boy.
Well, we're going to complete our raclette dinner when we return. So we have more with Chef Jeanne Theriault. We'll be right back. I love that. And I love that we can just sort of put it in ourselves.
Just keep it up. Keep
with Chef Jeanne Theriault from I Love to Cook for You to continue preparing a raclette dinner party. So far we've got the veggies on. You've selected some cold cuts to put on. I guess you don't call that cold cuts. What kind of meat is this again? I'm having a mind.
Well, this one is a mortadella, which is a Swiss, it's like a cold cut. And then some salami. So you would select the types of meats that you like or your guest, or you can marinate beef and put steak on top. You can marinate chicken, and seafood is incredible on top of the grill.
That sounds
really
delicious.
Nice. So it depends what your guests like, but they choose as well. If someone doesn't like shrimp or scallops, they're certainly not going to take it. But, they're going to cook it in their little piece of real estate, so it doesn't matter.
How do you know, for someone who's maybe never done this before, how do you know how much cheese you need to be purchasing or how many vegetables?
Well, for cheese, if you're going to have just the raclette cheese, I recommend it's like 150 grams per person.
Okay.
So wherever you go to buy it, ask them to slice it thin, because then it's going to melt in a sooner time than just sitting around. Any cheese that you want to slice thin, so that way people are waiting a long time before they can eat it. And if you can't find the raclette, go for a Swiss cheese. And the teen parties that I do, they like cheddar. So I give in. I buy them cheddar.
So that's interesting. You do teen parties. What is that like? You come in and you teach them about this. They can actually eat delicious real food.
Well, they're introduced to real food for sure.
Yes.
I have, with the birthday child, we'll pick the menu. We work through, we consult with that. What do your friends like? And of course, most kids do like sliders. So then on the top, they're going to grill their own sliders. We'll have marinated the meat, seasoned the meat, and they participate in that preparation if they choose to. And then we're going to have onions. They like that. They like different cheeses. And they like this dish as well with the ground beef. If they're adventurous, we may have something like a sauerkraut with caramelized onion and sautéed apples. Wow. And it has this kind of a tangy sweet to it. And then you put cheese if you choose. Not everyone eats cheese, but you certainly can have the fun without putting cheese on it.
Oh my goodness. And speaking of cheese, let's start plating what we have. So what would you do? You'd recommend to your guests to take out their little...
So to take out their pot, then you're going to scrape it. You're going to use your little...
Here, can you pass me one of those?
Yep, scraper here to put that onto your plate in the center. I like to keep the outside rings of what is the raw food. So that this is like your little food inventory. So that way you're not always passing the plates always around. And then the center is kind of your dining area.
So I'll put that back in
And
there.
I also use olive oil on top of the grill. You can use butter. You can use coconut oil as well, depending on your menu. And just to occasionally keep, oiling it up, using a nice little heat-proof brush to spread it around, because this also helps the grilling and it doesn't stick that way as well.
I'm going to take some of these. These look cooked.
But the fun thing about the cheese, this is what I learned about cheese and when I'm in Switzerland.
Yeah.
So in the time of the Alps, so in the fall, the farmers going up to different areas of the Alps to bring the cows down, to bring the sheep down, for the winter. So they take with them, in their little pack. I'm exaggerating. No, a loaf of bread, some potatoes, because it's protein.
Right.
And then the cheese. Now, the raclette cheese comes like cheese in a big wheel, and they'll have taken a chunk of that. So they create themselves a bonfire at night, and they're pretty much eating potatoes and bread is what they were doing. You cut cheese, put it on your bread, but they found that as they're sitting by the fire, the cheese melted. And then so then they would be scraping it onto their plate with their bread and their potato, and that became the meal.
Oh my goodness.
And then they took that more into the family. These grills have been invented. It's very social, and it creates fun memories, like great memories when you're friends. Where do you know, have you been to a party that's had a raclette?
I have never seen one before.
Right. And then when you have one, then people go away talking like, oh my gosh, that was so fun. And it's clean, it's simple, it's easy, and they only eat what they like. And that's
love
great
it.
too.
What's your favorite when you're picking some things off the raclette?
Well,
You said sliders. I was like, I'm all about the beef. So we're going to continue plating our food, and I'm going to try some of this deliciousness. But I want to say that that's the end of our show. Thank you to all of our special guests for stopping by, and to you at home for watching. I'm Denise Merrick, and we'll see you next time on Daytime. This vegetable looks really good. So would this be my fork?
Yes.
Yeah?
Well, yeah, for today it is.
For today.